Okay, let's give this bibimbap a go. Oh, interesting. I have a confession to make. I'm not much of a bibimbap guy, but this one's actually super tasty. Especially like considering that there's no meat in this, and I'm a very meaty guy. So I guess a tip and trick here is when you're having the bibimbap, chop everything up with scissors, real small, so it's easier to have them by the spoon. And also, if it seems a little dry, add a little bit of soup. That's a trick that I learned on this tour, which I have never heard about. 8 years here. What have I been doing? Next, we have the kal manduguk. There is two types of the mandu, or the dumplings, in this one. There's a kimchi one and there's just a regular one. And also the hand-cut noodles are very interesting looking. Here we go. Oh yeah, it's nice and clean tasting. Even though it is clean, it's not bland. Oh, unfortunately, the mandu fell apart in my spoon, but this is the inside of the kimchi mandu. You see how it's a lot different from, like, for example, your Chinese or Japanese dumplings. I wanted to bring this up because some of my friends from Canada visited me recently, and they were very surprised about what was inside a dumpling here. Fantastic though. Something else that we ordered is the jeon. Although this looks very different from the jeon I usually have. Fried little pancakes here. Very interesting looking. This is again something that I've actually never had. Funny enough, I have been here before, but this is the first time, and probably because it's a tour that we're taking, I'm assuming we're going to be eating a bunch of stuff that I normally wouldn't order in my own volition. Literally fresh off the grill. So this one that I just took a bite out of is the pork-based one. It literally is just like a patty of fried pork. Very interesting. And then this orangey looking one, the mung bean. This one's awesome. So this one, actually, to get it this crispy, is double fried. Apparently, we're supposed to have it with the onion, so I'm gonna give it a try. But this is not how usually I like to eat it. It's kind of tart and kind of sweet. So the mung bean one has absolutely no meat in it. So it's actually, I'm assuming it's very vegan friendly. I don't think the oil they use is like, it's not lard. It's the same oil. Oh, so it's not vegan. It's vegetarian though. These are different enough that I can't pick one over the other. They're both pretty much equally as good, which is very rare because I'm very picky. So usually I'd be like, oh, this one's better or whatever. Yeah. So something else really cool about Gwangjang-sijang is that it's actually a specialty market for textiles, fabrics, clothing, and things like that. So something really popular here are the Hanbok Shops, which is like the traditional Korean dresses and outfits. If that's something that you're looking for, definitely come over here, check out the shops. I don't really know about bargaining here, but you know, if you've got a taste for negotiation, definitely give it a try. There's like hanboks for like children, you know, adultes. Added bonus of air conditioning in these shops because it is super hot nowadays, and especially because it's monsoon season, it's also very humid. Looks like you can get sannakji here, which is something that's very surprising. Yeah, I just walked past that tank of live octopus and I was like, whoa, damn, not bad, Gwangjang-sijang, not bad. Something else cool about this market, but also pretty much every other market in Korea, is that in the same market, you're gonna have 5 to 6 different vendors selling the exact same things. And this is not just physical products, but food also. All the food stalls pretty much serve exactly the same thing. Different people say different things about, oh, maybe this stall is better or that stall is better, but in my opinion, they all kind of taste exactly the same. You know, some of them might have been gone on TV, so they got lucky and they have pictures and stuff posted up saying like, oh, Gordon Ramsay went here, or members of Twice have been here and stuff like that. Some of them won like awards, but to be fair, all the recipes are the same. As a tourist, instead of waiting specifically for one stall, unless like you want to meet the person, that's a little bit different. Obviously, if you want to meet the person that was, you know, on TV or whatever, or like meet the ajumma that's, you know, selling the stuff and have that experience. If all you're here for is either the product or food, just go to any of the places that serve that specific menu item because it's all the same. That was pretty much the end of the tour that we came on. So now it's food that I would personally recommend if you come here. We are now at a yukhae restaurant, and yukhae is basically beef tartare, so it's raw beef. Some of you might be scared. Don't be. I think it's a life philosophy in general is try everything at least once, then you could be sure that you don't like it, rather than being too scared to try it. That doesn't apply when it comes to like heroin and meth, jumping off a cliff. Don't do those things, but like food, try it. So what we ordered was the yukhae tangtangi, beef tartare with a raw egg yolk and the live octopus. They say it's live. It's not actually live. Even though it is moving, that's just like the nerves, the nervous system still kind of jittering. It is dead though. You're not eating a live animal. They call it live because it was live when they killed it. What you're supposed to do is just pop the yolk and then mix it all together. Just gonna go ahead and do that now and hope my sleeve doesn't dip into the soup. Probably moving it is probably the safest option. Oh, now it's in the kimchi. I'm pretty sure the little white strips in this is the Asian pear. So there's got a little bit of sweetness too. There should be some sesame oil in here as well for that flavoring. And here we just have a plate of tripe and raw liver. Does it sound too appetizing just saying it like that, but it's actually delicious. And then you are also given some sesame oil and salt. You can't see it from this angle, I don't know why I did that, for you to dip the stuff. So you kind of mix that. So these two things you would just take straight up, dip it in the sauce, and just have it. Raw liver has a sort of distinct sweetness to it. I hate cooked liver. I think it's really dry, but raw liver is a whole nother experience on its own. With the sesame oil and the salt mixed in with the natural sweetness of the liver. This is tripe. There isn't any flavor. It's really just a texture thing. So if you don't like kind of that chewy, slightly rubbery texture, it's not for you. I freaking love it. So it is for me, and you should definitely dip it in something. Oh man, in that salt and sesame oil mix, fantastic. You can have it with a little bit of kimchi too. So with this one, you want to take your spoon and put a little bit of everything in it. I love it. All the different flavors bonded together with the egg yolk and the sesame oil. And then you have that extra crunch and sweetness of the Asian pear. It's just like, there's nothing in Western food that I've had that compares to this. I've had French beef tartare and it's completely different. Since I've been here for so long, I'm not gonna have the tteokbokki and the sundae and stuff. But if you come and it's your first time in Korea, I think you should definitely go ahead and try the more standard street foods that you could get pretty much everywhere else. Pretty much anything you can find here that's more normal, you can find anywhere else in Korea at the street food stalls. But it is slightly different at this market and it's worth coming here at least once and you'll have enough of this place. I don't know, this is just like a personal preference kind of thing. I'm more of a eat indoors kind of guy, and if it is actually street food, I want like street food. Things that you get on the side of the street, not like lineups of people to wait for something you can get pretty much anywhere else. So Kwanjeonsijang is next to Jongno 5가, Jongno 5가 train station, or just take a taxi. And that's another happy ending.